I'm in the greenhouse. Hopefully this stays on. I'm so sorry about the connection, you guys. So I just came through the tunnel. Unfortunately, the internet in there is awful, so I couldn't really show you what it looked like in there. But that is how Elizabeth would have gotten out here to her greenhouse. This is her, what was her personal greenhouse. Very, very beautiful, and it's nice and warm in here. And I did forget to mention, you'll notice today I'm sporting my Votes for Women buttons that we have in our gift store. They're very cool, very exclusive to Ruthmere. I actually designed this one myself, so do go check those out. But now I'm going to introduce you to Bree. Hi, Bree.
Hi, Dree. How are you?
Dree and Bree here in the greenhouse. So Bree is our campus gardener, and she is out here working as she does very often, and she's done some really great things for the greenhouse. But I will come over here first before we get started. We have a picture right here of Elizabeth Beardsley working away in her greenhouse. Now, this was a favorite place of hers. She really loved to plant. Our collections manager told me, it is going to be raining a lot too, so you might hear a lot of rain. Sorry about that. We'll try to be nice and loud so you can hear us. But yeah, so our collections manager, Joy, actually told me that one of her favorite things to plant was roses, so it's very possible that she would have had a lot of roses planted out here. Although on the outside in our actual gardens, that probably would have been more of Albert's jurisdiction. So, all right, Bree, so why don't you tell us a little bit of what we've been working on and what we got in here today?
Well, right now the greenhouse is in a little bit of a transition period. Over the winter, we had this space filled up with plants we started from seeds, which are all now being moved outside, and hopefully we'll be getting them in the ground soon. And then we also, Rusty Ritchie with the Dahlia Society donated a bunch of dahlia tubers. So we were raising them all winter, and now we are happy to announce that they are ready to be sold. And Ruthmere does a fundraiser selling dahlias, and each one of these will go to, will sell for $10. And actually this weekend we have a really great opportunity. Rusty will be having a sale at his house with the Dahlia Society, and it's a drive-through sale, so you don't even have to get out of your car. You can just drive up and say which variety you like, and he actually has 100 varieties to choose from.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah,
that's
100,
a lot.
where we only have like 6 here. But if you mention Ruthmere's name at this sale, then 25% of the proceeds will go back to Ruthmere.
So yeah, that's very exciting. And we do have a few of them blooming here. You see,
yes.
What variety are the ones we do have blooming?
The one that you see in bloom here is actually Mary Jo.
Mary Jo.
And with each of the dahlias that you do purchase, it comes with a nice little pamphlet on how to grow a dahlia, how to take care of it. It actually also has some
the obligatory history lesson.
Yeah, and information on Ruthmere, I believe, as well too, on the history of Ruthmere, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah. So that's fun.
So yeah, you will get all the instructions on how to care for these. They are absolutely gorgeous. There's all sorts of different colors and shapes and sizes that you can get. And yeah, so we will have information on that. The address, I was supposed to have it before we started, and darn it, I forgot. So I will be posting the address of where you can go get those from 10 to 4 this Saturday at Rusty's house. He will be selling them. And again, over 100 varieties of those.
Yeah.
So very cool. Before we do go on to talk about more of the plants in here, I did want to mention that if you are familiar with our greenhouse and you've been seeing it a lot over the past year or so, you know that it looks amazing in here compared to especially what I did last year. And I can say that very easily because I was the person who was running the gardens last year and I had no idea what I was doing. So Bree has really brought it back to life in here. And we had some wonderful volunteers that have been working in here to the best of their ability, trying to bring it up to speed. Like we had Rusty, he donated a bunch of plants, not just the dahlias, but some others. I know we had another volunteer, Marty Weber, who was doing a great job keeping the plants alive in here that we did have. So thank you so much to you guys. And it looks wonderful now. So let's talk a little bit about some of the plants we do have. What's this one called right here?
This one is a Bulgin Fila. And this has been in the Ruthmere greenhouse for years. I'm not sure.
Decades, I'm pretty sure.
It's been a part of the greenhouse here at Ruthmere for a long time. It's a really cool plant. It's a vining plant, so it's going to grab onto anything that it can. However, you do have to be a little careful with this plant because it does get thorns. So it's kind of nice having a little off the path here, so it's not reaching out and grabbing you. But you can see these delicate little blooms that it gets.
Yeah, those are so cute. I love them.
Adorable?
Yeah, you would recognize this if you're on our Facebook page a lot. This is actually the plant that we have right now that's of our cover photo because Bree took a really cool picture of it, so we put it up there. So actually, our executive director just texted me the address because he was watching. So it's 27074 County Road 20. That's the address that the dahlias will be sold at this Saturday from 10 to 4. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so yes, this is a really beautiful plant that we have in here, probably the oldest one that we do have in here.
Yeah.
So we will head on over here. All right, now I know we've had an abundance of this stuff in here. Can you tell us a little bit about what this is called?
Well, the common name for it is Wandering Jew. And the reason, probably the main reason why you see a lot of it in here is because it propagates very easily.
Yeah.
I mean, if you walk by and you bump this off, you can literally just take it and put it right back in the soil and it's going to start growing for you.
Yeah, it is abundant.
A very forgiving plant, but it has a beautiful purple color that goes really good against greens, and it's just a nice additive to your plant collection.
And it does flower, you know.
Oh yeah. There's a little adorable
That's a
bloom.
very cute little bloom. It's very pretty.
Yes.
And it's different, of course, than this purple plant, and it looks good next to it, but this is a different kind.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is a false shamrock. These both are actually different varieties. But yeah, just again, that beautiful purple, deep purple color. It's just very vibrant. Nice accent with the flower that is in bloom there.
Very much so.
Where this one is more of a marble variety, which is, I think, very unique as well.
And they do look like huge clovers, huge shamrocks.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you can ever find a 4-leaf one of those.
We could use all the good luck, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about these geraniums that we've had in here. So geraniums, a lot of people would probably consider them to be annuals, but because we have this great greenhouse, we've been able to keep these alive for a very long time. Except you'll see here, we have a hot pink variety of geraniums, and I know you've told me that that's probably not something that historically they would have had.
Right, which here at Ruthmere we do try to keep things or our plants a little bit historically correct, meaning what kind of plants were available in 1908, because they've been hybrid. There's so many hybrid varieties, so we do kind of try to think about what was available during the time period that the house was built, and is it still available today to plant. However, if you are a gardener, you know that you have to make some compromises sometimes.
Yes.
So although the pink is very beautiful and we love it, 1908 there was probably only red and white geraniums available at that time,
which are pretty, but yeah.
so we always do have the red variety here at Ruthmere.
Instead of this, what I call this Barbie pink, the hot pink.
It sure is beautiful.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
And it's really showing off right now.
It is. They look great in here, especially if you see them from the road. They stand out wonderfully.
Yes.
And down here, this is another one. This is one you've been experimenting with, and I think it's a vegetable, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a cute little cucumber that I started from seed a few weeks ago, and it's just really taken off. I do plan on putting it outside, but it was really wanting to grab on with this cute little
I love these little swirlies. They're so cute.
So this is, I mean, it's just done this all on its own. It's grabbed on and it's just growing away.
Yeah, and you've been experimenting a lot with the vegetables in here.
I have. Yeah. It's just really cool to have a greenhouse to be able to experiment in. And
this is really cool. We have this resource.
Absolutely. And when you're a gardener, it's just exciting to try to grow anything you can, especially from seed and from cuttings.
And this cucumber, that's actually, this one's way bigger. You can see if you do try to grow your own cucumber, it likes to climb So keep that in mind.
Yes.
But it has, you know, really pretty flowers on it as well, even if you're not growing it to eat, which I don't know why you would.
And it is an heirloom cucumber as well.
Okay.
So
very cool.
And try to get all heirloom vegetables. And this is Malabar spinach.
Malabar spinach?
Right, and it's actually a vine, so it will grow up this trellis, and I'll also be planting some outside in our kitchen garden.
Okay.
And it has this beautiful purple vine all year. It also has a very beautiful bloom, and all summer long you can pick the leaves off and add it to your salads, or you know, however you like to eat your spinach. But it's excellent. I'd highly recommend that plant. It's really fun to grow.
That's really cool. And you know, you told me even at home, you try to grow your own vegetables at home when you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It would be really nice. I live in an apartment, so I can't really do that. But if you do have that ability, that's a really great way to kind of save some money, get your hands dirty, do some outdoor work. Growing your own vegetables is very recommended by a lot of people. So
yeah, especially during this time, you know, being in a pandemic, it definitely makes you think of, you know, raising your own food and having your own food resources.
Yeah, that way you know exactly where it comes from. That's very, very good point. So this plant, this one gets really tall.
It does.
And let us know if you can't hear us, because we know it is raining really, really hard right now. So it's a little bit hard to hear. We can barely hear each other, so we're hoping our microphones are picking us up.
Right.
But so this one, really tall. We have another one over there that's even taller, back in that corner. So do you know what this one is called?
Yeah, so this is a night blooming cirrus.
Oh, yes.
And it's really kind of a specialty plant. As you can see, it gives off the large shoots, and they're quite strong. It's a very amazing plant. However, if you decide to have one, you want to give it a lot of space, because it does have kind of a crazy growing pattern.
Yeah, it seems to kind of have its own idea of what it wants to do.
Yeah. But one of the unique things is that it blooms at night. It only blooms once a year, and it only blooms for one night.
Oh, wow. That's really weird. And it's like, how would we ever see that? Like,
right. So I personally have not seen one bloom, but from what I understand, in the past they've had night blooming cirrus parties here at Ruthmere, which I'd love to hear more about. If anybody watching has been to a night blooming cirrus party, I'd love to hear about it.
That is the coolest thing to me, that you have a party explicitly to see a plant bloom. Like, that is one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
And what a perfect place to have a night.
Yeah, this would be such an elegant place. Ruthmere, definitely, we love plants here, so would be a really great time. Maybe we could do that again with these someday.
I would love to.
Yes.
I'll see if I can get them to bloom.
Yeah.
How that goes.
It seems like they're on the right track, so I think we would be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you told me how to pronounce this one because I mispronounced it. It's aloe.
Yes.
I did it.
Good job, Bree.
I said aloe, and she was like, what?
Hello.
Aloe, that's what this is, yes.
It's an aloe vera, and it's a very old plant. I think I recently read the first documentation of it was like 6,000 years ago in Egypt, I believe. So that's interesting that. Yeah,
that's very cool that we've been using it for medicinal purposes for such a long time.
Absolutely.
Now it is a succulent, Yes. So how do you have any challenges growing succulents in here as opposed to the other plants?
Not really, except for with succulents, you just have to pay attention. Like, they will tell you if they're unhappy. So before I watered this one especially, you should probably make this a habit with any of your plants, but especially with succulents. I test the soil and I see if it's wet. If it's wet, I definitely don't give it any more water, because it doesn't like wet feed. It'll actually rot. So
okay, that's good to know. I've always wanted to experiment with my own.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's definitely good to know. So you'll notice on the floor here we have some flowers. These are all being lined up. They are about to be planted over at the Aloe Vera house.
Yes.
So what did you pick, and why'd you pick them?
Well, I kind of wanted to do a color palette that would match the house over at Aloe Vera house, which the house is cream and brick red. So I went with peach and a deep purple. And these are Tuberous Begonias, and they tolerate quite a bit of shade. So our main circle bed over there is under a tree. So I plan to plant those there, and hopefully they'll be happy in that space.
They seem to be doing really well in here.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad that they're hanging in there.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to get them in the ground.
Yeah, I bet.
And this is some verbena, which Verbena is an old plant. However, this is a hybrid. It's a superbena. So I am cheating a little bit on this one as far as going with the historically correct plant. But
oh, that's okay.
It's really pretty, and that's going to go in the front sign with the salvia behind it.
The salvia is such a gorgeous color. I've never seen them like this, and they're so pretty.
Lighthouse purple.
Lighthouse purple, yeah. Keep an eye out for those if you like purple flowers that are, you know, more on the purple side, less on the blue side.
Yeah, I'm excited to get them in the ground and see how they're going to do.
I hope they just shoot off everywhere like the ones we put in the wedding garden.
Yeah.
They're so pretty.
Yeah, they really spread out.
All right, so kind of moving over this way, you'll see we do have some ferns in here. We do keep our ferns that we usually have outside. We keep them in here for the winter, so they stay nice and healthy throughout the year, and we can always reuse them. We use them for weddings a lot.
Yep.
And then we'll kind of talk about these over here. So this one, I called it a palm tree, but you said I was wrong. It has a really cool name, and I forget what it was.
The common name is a Madagascar dragon tree.
Dragon tree, yeah, that's right.
And in its original habitat, it actually would be a tall tree.
A tall tree. It would be cool to see it get that big in here. I don't know if it's just the pot that's, you know, keeping it from getting much bigger, but it is still cool looking in here.
It is really cool, and you can see kind of how it looks like it's kind of trying to shoot down root there, and yeah, just a neat plant. And you know, it's a common house plant, but in this kind of setting, it definitely grows a little bit bigger, and with the constant heat.
Yeah, it's doing really well in here. I know this is one of the ones that has been in here since I started like 3 years ago, so it's done really well in here, especially since it's had more consistent care.
Sure.
And then this one, I know this one's one that Rusty gave us. This bush, it's a begonia bush, yeah?
It's an angel wing begonia.
Angel wing begonia.
Yes, and you can see it has kind of a silvery spots on it, and when it's in bloom, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, we do have a few blooms here. It's
trying to put out a few blooms here, but it'll get blooms all over at certain times of the year, and they're even a little bit fragrant, and it's really beautiful plant when it's showing off, when it's in its prime.
It's very pretty. I have seen some places use these outside as decor, so they can be planted around here certain times of the year. But yeah, when it blooms, these little blooms, they look exactly like, you know, your regular tiny begonia like we have over there.
Yes.
So very cool. And then this one here, this is hibiscus.
Yes. And that will be going outside soon as well for the summer, and then we'll bring it back into the greenhouse for the winter.
Yeah, and then there's a nice large blooms on the hibiscus. If you've never seen them,
I wish it was in bloom today.
Yeah, that one was beautiful yesterday, and I was like, oh, that'll be cool. And then overnight, he decided he wanted to close up. He's shy, so
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. So. All right, moving here. Why don't you tell us about this one?
This one is a Mandevilla Vine. So it's a beautiful vine. You can see it gets very vibrant blooms. And I thought I would share, over the winter, I found a seed pod on it.
A seed pod? Oh my gosh, that is so weird looking.
That's what I thought too. When I first saw it, I was like, what is that? And then of course, you know, I had to
almost looks
take it apart and realize
puffy. Yeah,
that it was a seed pod. You can kind of see the seeds coming out.
Wow.
So that's kind of fun to just have here for everybody to see.
Yeah. Now, this one is doing really, really well. It's been in here for a while too, but these blooms are a very pretty color.
They are.
And this one obviously likes to climb as well. You can see he's shooting for the stars up here. He likes to climb. So we had another one actually out by the garden shed that I planted out there, but I forgot to bring him back inside. So R.I.P. that one.
Yeah, that one definitely has to come back in for the winter.
Right. And what you got going here? I don't think I asked you that before.
When I was weeding the Pachysandra bed, I accidentally pulled this one out.
So I
stuck it in some water to reroot it, and it actually has rerooted, so I just have to stick it in the ground at this point.
Okay,
so
cool.
Kind of play in.
Alrighty.
And these are some
I forgot about these.
That I started by seed. And they actually produce an edible flower that you can put in your salads.
And they're so cute. They have little like lily pad leaves.
They're beautiful, and these are also both heirloom plants.
So very cute. All right, so, the last one up here, it doesn't really, not the dahlia, but the one behind it.
The orchid. Oh,
yeah, talk a little bit about this. So we've had this orchid for a while too, and it wasn't doing so hot, but you said he's coming back.
Yeah, he seems to be perking up a little bit, and orchids do have to have the special soil. They have a different, very different, I guess it wouldn't be called soil, but planting material than any of the other plants. I don't know too much about orchids, but I'm learning, and it's been fun watching this one come back to life. So.
Yeah, I've heard orchids are not the easiest ones to take care of, but he's doing a lot better than he was before, so that's good. All right, so I did want to mention too, I was going to mention it at the beginning and I forgot, but our roof here has been restored. So this is not the original ceiling, but it does have the original, from what I've been told, it was the original tin metal framing up here on the ceiling. But the glass has been replaced, I know, semi-recently. And when the third family lived here, at some point a tree did fall in on this glass, so I mean, it's definitely been replaced more than once since then. But if you drive by at night, you will see that we have beautiful purple lights all the way around this dome that help promote our support of the women's rights. It is the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, of the ratification of the 19th Amendment. So as I mentioned with my pins here, we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of that all year long in our gift shop and with our programs, and if you've been following online with a lot of that stuff. So keep an eye out if you see those lights on at night. That'll be really cool. So I know we didn't get to really talk about the rest of the gardens outside, but I will hold this up so you can see. That is our wedding garden. It's very, very beautiful, and especially once we get more plants blooming in there and we plant a few more, it's always blue and white. We always have it as a blue and white wedding garden.
And we have dates available this summer if anybody needs
we do.
Special place to have a wedding.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you had your wedding canceled and you need a nice outdoor small venue, you can get in contact with our wedding coordinator, Joy. JOLSEN at Ruthmere.org is her email, and this is a beautiful place to have a wedding, and she will help you with all that as well. And then over there you can see a little bit up against those windows, that's actually the cutting garden or the kitchen garden. That is where Bree is going to be planting a lot of those like edible plants out there.
Yeah.
Last year I know I planted some lavender in there and a few other things that hopefully will come back. I know I've seen a few of them starting up.
The lavender's still there, yeah.
The lavender's still there.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that will be really, really cool. And then again, you're not going to be able to see very well, but we have our tulip bed out there, which later will be filled with red begonias. And right in front of here, which again, you can't really see it, I'm sorry, is our Tiffany garden, which we fill specifically with flowers that are featured in the works of Louis Comfort Tiffany, which we have a few of his lamps and a beautiful window in the garage as well. And then I will end by plugging our quilt garden, which you can barely see over there. The quilt garden for this year, we are still planting it. We are actually going to hopefully start planting on Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, so did you want to tell us a little bit about that? Or
quilt garden?
Quilt garden, yeah. Do you know what the design is and everything?
Roots
chrysanthemum. Yes, Roots chrysanthemum.
That's our theme this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have a few people coming out. If you did want to volunteer and help plant it, you can get in contact with Bree.
Yep.
We are always still looking for more help. So,
absolutely, and we are practicing social distancing planting.
Yes,
so
yes,
going by the guidelines.
Definitely. So, but yeah, so a lot of places around the county are still taking part in the quilt garden. So you can still this summer drive around and see them. It'll be a really cool way to go out without having to go too far or get too close to people because it's all outdoors, obviously. So, with that, if you have any questions about the gardens or the greenhouse, you can email Bree. Why don't you tell them what your email address is?
Oh, shoot. I think it's Bree DeMorrow at Ruthmere.
Yes, BDEMORROW at Ruthmere.org. Yes.
There we go. Yep. And don't forget about our dahlia cell.
Yes.
Or not our dahlia cell, but don't forget to go purchase some dahlias from the Dahlia Society this Saturday.
Yes.
So.
And don't forget to mention Ruthmere.
That's
so
right.
we get 25% of the proceeds for that.
Yep.
So, all right, thank you guys so much for joining. Please do join us next week on Tea Time. We have our new topics picked out. Next week, we are going to have our membership coordinator, Mark Doddington, talk a little bit about his glass collection, and the name of the glass is totally out of my brain right now, but it will be on our website. I'm sorry about that. So again, thank you guys so much, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments or on Bree's email. All right, see you guys.